probably the most extensive, widespread scandal that has ever beset Britain. Local government.
Yeah, like it's everyone.
Services, the police.
It's just crazy because, like, imagine if the race roles were reversed.
We were supposed to cover it last week. We have Rupert Lowe's gang report. Obviously, everyone in the world has seen this. Not everyone in the world is reporting on it, including every left-wing media outlet. And yeah, it's exactly what you would think is happening.
Yeah. It's what we've been saying for decades now that has been happening. A very conservative estimate of 250,000 young little British girls are being trafficked and tortured, forced into forced conversions, forced into marriages, forced pregnancies, forced abortions.
Trafficking.
Like, you name it, these girls have gone through it, and the government has been complicit, law enforcement has been complicit. They've intentionally covered these crimes up. They've intentionally avoided mentioning the very specific group of people that are perpetrating and committing the vast majority of these crimes.
I mean, I think what happened is they opened their borders. They let all these people in. They had to hide the data. I think the government's in on it. The cops are in on it. I think everyone's...
It's proven that they've been in on it.
Everyone's in on it. And so what did they have to do? They couldn't admit that these people are just honestly shitty people that we can't live around. And they couldn't be racist. So instead, they just let all their young children get and just hid it all from the world.
It's not even the fact that they were going to be racist in a genuine sense. They weren't able to say anything out of fear of being called and labeled racist. This is not racism, to point out the fact that that a group of people is committing very specific crimes against another group of people. That's not racism. That's just reality. And you know what? Not all Muslims are grapey, but a good amount are.
Okay, but
and they
also,
justify it.
From like an outside perspective, can we like realize, I get not everyone's like a historian, but I'm like, can we at least admit that Muslim countries, okay, most of them...
Still today, actually.
Still
not
to
even
this
just
day.
Historically, but still today.
Okay, marry children. There is a, what is it? So, there's a word for it, whatever. There is a practice across all these countries where they literally grape and have sex with boys. It's the whole documentary, Dancy Boys of Afghanistan. Feel free to look it up. And the boys don't have a choice, and sometimes they just kill them anyways after they're done with them. So that's widely known. Child marriages, there's no respect for women. You know, if you go to a lot of places, it's like a white woman going to India. What are all the comments? You're going to get sexually assaulted and potentially even murdered as well. It's like, why? This is a well-known thing that Muslims and, you know, Muslim men do not respect women. Children are in danger around them. This is like a widely known thing. If it was happening from the Japanese community, I would be shocked. I would genuinely be shocked. But I'm like, this is widely known. This is why women don't go to those countries.
Yeah, well, and look, again, not all, but their doctrine quite literally excuses and justifies these types of behaviors. Heck, their prophet engaged in these types of behaviors. He had a harem of sex slaves, and married a 6-year-old, as a great person. The great person that he was, clearly, as their prophet, waited until she was, I believe, 9 to consummate the marriage, because that's so nice. Much better, obviously. Yeah. No, these are things that they, as a culture, as a religion, have justified and encouraged. And if you read these reports, like, there's stories that these girls tell that are probably some of the most horrific things. Actually, no, not probably. Absolutely the most horrific things I've ever read in my entire life. Like, and not even anecdotal. Like, you can even just look at the things that are proven from these girls. We're talking, like, actual recorded instances of, like, medical attention that they've received for these things, recorded instances of attempted suicides, abortions, pregnancies as a result of rape, and, like, all these other things. And yet still the government looked the other door. There was one girl that was sexually assaulted, I believe, in a graveyard. And then her assaulter raped her with a whiskey bottle. The whiskey bottle shattered inside her. She took herself to receive medical attention, and nobody at this medical facility asked any questions or anything. I'm like,
No one wanted to know why that happened.
No, and I believe it was the same girl or
no
or
social workers.
No, well, even social workers were involved in some
they're
cases.
in on it too.
There was one girl that was forced into a marriage. The social worker attended the wedding.
Oh my God.
That is the level of not even complacency, but that's the level that the government has been complicit in these crimes. There was one, I believe it was the girl that had the whiskey bottle incident. Her mother went to the police and was like, my daughter's being groomed and raped by Asian men. And the police officer or whoever she was talking to at the department said that you can't say Asian men because that's racist.
When does any of this, when does the racism matter? I don't even understand. You're talking about crimes.
Yeah, there was one girl that went to authorities, was reporting this, talked to social workers. What they did instead, the social worker actually talked to her about contraception and
so we should actually just let them the kids
and safe sex practices.
Yeah.
Good. How about in this instance, the only safe sex is no sex, because that I'm sorry.
I was reviewing, the crazy thing is, I was doing my show for a year, and I was reviewing all these stories coming out of the UK of a bunch of Pakistani men. There was one that was so horrific. I think it was 6 of them, drugged this girl, got her so drunk, gang raped her. And when she went outside, they were let go, and she was arrested for being drunk in public.
Yep.
It's so evil. I just don't even understand, because I'm you guys, one of these things happening, you should have rioted. You should have literally actually January 6th, your country,
that's exactly
but really
it.
burned shit down.
5 of these instances should have caused the. I mean, honestly, I don't even think there's a degree of outrage that is justifiable for the amount of crime that has happened in this instance. This should have been the level of outrage we see for 5 girls, not 250,000 plus. Mind you, that's a conservative estimate.
Yeah,
that's just the ridiculous part to me, and it's just again. I mean, we saw it with the Henry Nowak case and the case of the I think it's the Tunisian migrant that was beheading a man in Belfast just a couple weeks ago. It's
insane.
It's really funny to me how all these crimes are committed by a group of people, and I will even just generalize even more, non-whites. But in the UK, if you are white, you are automatically deemed and assumed to be the committer of the crime and not the victim. Henry Nowak was literally on the floor saying that he was stabbed, he was bleeding to death, and yet the kid that stabbed him was automatically to have assumed to be the victim.
And it's okay as long as and also now the problem is they know they can lie about the racism as well.
Of course.
So now they know they can lie and get away with it. But I'm I don't see anything you can do besides basically be we need all of you out of the country immediately, which you're not going to be able to do. That's why I'm so hardcore on immigration, because once they're here, to get them out is actually nearly impossible.
Exactly. Well, and that really is the thing. And President Trump largely ran on mass deportations. We've seen a lot of that, and a lot of that has been great. Not nearly enough.
No, it's also not enough, because if Democrats win the next election, they'll let in 30 more million.
That's exactly
million people in a year.
It's the same thing with the UK. Realistically, we have probably 25 million people that need to be deported from the country. The UK has at least 10 million people that should be deported from the country. And
they're all having babies, and they're all getting citizenship.
And that's exactly it. These people from these specific cultures, they know. They repopulate the world. Their birth rate is so much higher than ours for a multitude of reasons. But that is the other reason to not let them here en masse.
Yeah.
Again,
I believe we should ban third world immigration, just period, and Muslim countries as well. You should have to go through such a process where you have to prove you have a job here. It makes a certain amount of money, and you should be watched like a hawk. And if you do anything that we deem as inappropriate or going against our country's standards, you should be forced to leave.
I completely agree. And
if you're here on welfare, and no, sorry, you're out. You're not contributing.
Yeah, and I don't even think that should just apply to third world countries or Muslim countries. I think that should apply to any and everyone. It's going to be much easier for Western Christian countries to be able to do that, obviously, and assimilate, because we largely speak a lot of the similar languages. Do people
realize if you went there, they would kill you? I don't even think the people that stand up for them, I'm if you brought your daughters there, they would rape them, they would kill you, they have no respect for you.
There's a literal white genocide
invader
happening in South Africa right now.
It's just crazy to take their side. We'll watch a little bit of this.
This report is over 200 pages long, and it goes into the root causes of probably the most extensive, widespread scandal that has ever beset Britain. It goes to every corner of the country. It's not in silos, it's everywhere. And it involves failure by the British establishment. And by the British establishment, I mean, obviously, government ministers, the civil service, local government.
Yeah, like it's everyone.
Services, police, the judiciary, the NHS, and the media.
Correct. Literally everyone's in on it.
Be the guardian for the British people of scandals like this, but they've singularly failed to do that.
We can pause it.
It's just crazy because, like, imagine if the race roles were reversed and these were white men raping brown and black girls.
Oh. Well, that's one way to get them out of the country. Maybe we just rape them back.
That is the thing, is that, like, if roles were reversed, this would be treated so differently, and it shouldn't be. If it were white men raping,
that's a double standard worldwide now.
But that's exactly it. And there shouldn't be the double standard, because we look at this and we're just recognizing that whites are predominantly the victims and not the perpetrator of these crimes, obviously. But if roles were reversed and whites were the perpetrators and people of color were the victims of these crimes, we'd all
be, like, dead and in prison forever.
Well, but we would have the same level of outrage, because it is just simply unacceptable for people to be raping and molesting and abusing children.
Well, I have the most extreme view. I think if you were caught with 100% evidence that you raped a child,
they kill you on the spot.
I think death penalty.
Yeah, I want public I've said this for a long time. We need to bring back public executions and public humiliation for even lesser crimes, because look, the justice system that we have now is so weak and pathetic that, like you said,
but that's
earlier,
why they get away with it.
They're
taking advantage of it.
And the same thing with, I mean, the UK is even worse than we are. But that is exactly the thing, is that you have people that will murder people in cold blood. Carmelo Anthony, he basically admitted to the murder.
He actually did on video.
Yeah. And there's basically no question about it that he did murder this kid. He murdered him intentionally. You brought a knife to a high school track meet. I don't know what even justifies you doing that in the first place. Well, there is no
justification. That's the issue.
He still got 35 years. He could potentially be out in 17. Shouldn't be the case. You should be behind bars for the rest of your life. And honestly, I actually think that there should be, you should be 6 feet under with a tombstone that doesn't even have your name, just your cell number, to be honest with you. Like, there's no justification for that, and there's no punishment in this life that is, like, harsh enough that just keeps you alive, to be honest with you.
No, I think our prisons are like babysitting toddlers at this point. And I also think they should 100% be forced to do manual labor. I think they should be cleaning the streets. I think they should be working for free. Well, working.
The funny thing is that I actually think that the vast majority of prisoners, especially men, would probably just volunteer to sign up for that, because they're probably bored out of their minds in prison.
No, but they should be forced to contribute.
But they should 100% have to contribute. I really don't care if people claim that that's slave labor and the
good.
You committed, especially if you were in federal prison for a long time, you committed an egregious enough crime to land yourself there.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like, I'm not interested in, like, whipping and abusing and, like, hurting you, but you should have to actually give back to the society that you
took from. That's the whole point. Yeah. We have a couple more assets on this.
Mind you, they still just get given things. You get free healthcare.
You get fucking iPads.
You get free food. You get iPads to watch porn in California.
That's why I'm like we're way too soft.
Exactly. Like, you should have to you're indebted to us as a society. So live it out.
Other prison systems are so bad, people actually would just kill themselves before they go there. And I'm like, that's one way to weed them out too.
I think that's what we should.
French woman was sexually assaulted by a Tunisian immigrant for saying the main danger to women is sexual violence from immigrants. So,
hello, dear European and American patriots. I need your help. Tomorrow, I may be sentenced to unsuspended prison for daring to say on French TV that the main danger to women in France comes from Black, African and Arab immigrant men, even though I was defending a woman who was herself by a Central African man subject to an OQTF order in the courtyard of her Paris apartment building. Having myself survived an attempt by a Tunisian migrant 4 years ago, I could not remain silent. But for having spoken these words on a television set, the prosecutor has sought a prison sentence against me. She dismissed our two stories as...
So no free speech? They go to jail for that?
which did not excuse my hate speech. Yet, all I did was describe a reality that...
You know what's crazy is they'll put a little white... First of all, how is she going to survive in prison? She's literally going to get raped by the other criminal immigrants.
Well, and the funny thing is that this woman has for years defended women that have been victims of sexual violence from immigrants. And yeah, like she was followed home by an immigrant. He broke into her house, tried to forcibly rape her. She fought him off, I believe, and obviously is still here. But she was faced with prison time for going on national television and pointing out that this is a massive threat, probably the largest threat to French women.
And that guy's probably walking free.
I think they never caught him.
Oh,
they never got him.
Never mind.
But that is largely the case. Honestly, I would say that this is one of the, if not the biggest threat to Western women through all the West. And yet they were threatening her with prison time. She did have her day in court, and they did try and throw her in prison. But they received enough public scrutiny that she ended up just getting hit with a €1,000 fine. But still.
How insane, though. Like, if it wasn't for, like, the media now starting to switch up a little bit on these people, this is just what you're going to see. I mean, the link to it is very easy to find. It's everywhere on X. This is what's in it. So, nothing good.
It's so unexcusable that the government of the UK has justified this. And mind you, they're defending foreigners largely. And sure, maybe a lot of these are born in the UK, but they are still, to be honest with you, they're foreigners. Yeah. They're unassimilated. They've lived in their little tiny pocket of
they turn it into their country.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like these
They're
little
not, like,
pockets
in
of
Notting
Pakistan
Hill.
across the UK. They have not assimilated to the way of life in the UK. They've not assimilated to the culture. They don't view themselves as English.
Do you see the interviews? Like, I like what everyone, Tyler Oliveira, he'll like go up to these people and he's like, oh, like, where are you from? And they'll be like Muslim, Indian, whatever. I'm from here. And he's like, oh, how is it there? Amazing. He's like, why don't you go back there? And then they assault him.
Yes.
And they're like, so what the
yeah, like you're gonna sit here and like till your dying breath defend the country that you have left and that you still like the culture and norms that you still abide by, but you live in our country and then you get punchy and assaulty when someone says, oh, you should go to that place if you love it so much.
Dude, it's like people from like it's like when people wave the Mexican flag here.
Yeah, well, it's so funny. I should find it and pull it up. I think I've mentioned it on the show before.
Well, let's go ahead and get you back then.
Yeah, there was a girl, I think she was an influencer, and she was deported back to Mexico. And she was doing like a day. I don't know how this hit my timeline, but she was doing like a day in the life series of someone that was deported back to Mexico, and it was just like her crying. And
I thought it was amazing there. Why don't you go back?
And literally, if you scroll back like 10 videos, it was her at an ICE protest waving a Mexican flag. And it's just
that's where I want my tax dollars
funny.
Going to.
I want my taxpayer dollars going towards plane fare or boat fare to ship these people back to their home country.
It's also crazy because I'm like, if we went there and did that, we would probably be like murdered by Mexican cartels.
Mexico City specifically has had a major problem with white Americans since the start of the Trump administration. All the liberals thought it would be a great idea to move to Mexico, and of course, all the Mexicans are having a large issue with that because they're like, we don't want them here.
I was like, oh, you guys don't like when people invade your country?
Oh, must
be
nice.
Yeah, crazy how that works.